Bonjour, transcribers. Today we're going to test ourselves on menu vocabulary and in particular French language expressions which are commonly used in English language menus. There are lots of French words that are used in English, but especially in the field of cuisine, which is itself, of course, a French word. So I'll be playing you some sentences and asking you to listen out for the French words and try to recognize them, but I'll also be suggesting ways that you can more easily remember the French words by linking them to their English cognates. A cognate is basically a word in one language that's come from a word in another language. For example, the English word mansion, meaning a grand house, has come from the French word maison, which means just house. Before we begin, a word from our sponsor, the FTW Transcriber, about just one of its features. The FTW Transcriber's automatic timestamps save loads of time, but they always start from 0 because they get their timing from the audio or video file you're playing. So, what if a client wants you to use on-screen timestamps that don't start at 0? Won't all the automatic timestamps be wrong? No, because with the FTW Transcriber you can set your timestamps to start at any figure, even a negative one. Big time saver. Alright, let's begin the exercise. Today's speaker is Matthew, who's 24 and is a silver service waiter in Canada. So, on the next screen you're going to hear a sentence spoken by Matthew. It contains a French expression. Listen out for what that expression is.
The Count des Vins includes wines from several different regions.
Right, let's have that sentence again, and now I'll show you the sentence with the French expression missing. Listen again.
The Count des Vins includes wines from several different regions.
Any ideas? Well, now I'll show you the missing expression on the screen. So the missing expression is carte des vins, which means the wine list. Here is a literal translation of that now. Literal translation means chart of the wines. So what would the English cognates be of carte des vins? Well, the word carte is like the English word chart, which comes from that. And there's another one as well, which is card, also comes from the word carte. So from the French word carte, we have card and chart that have come into English. And then from the word vin, we have the word wine, obviously, V-I-N in French, and it's become W-I-N-E in English. But it's basically the same word. They're cognates of each other. So, as I said earlier, helps you to remember what the French words mean if there are English cognate words which are similar. So that's how this is going to work. Let's get ready for number 2. Have a listen to Matthew's next sentence and try and identify the French word or phrase.
Everything on the à la carte list is available tonight.
Okay, let's have that again, and I'll show you the sentence, but with that French expression omitted.
Everything on the à la carte list is available tonight.
So what was that French expression? À la carte is the answer. À la carte, that means that it's not a set meal, it means that you can choose individual dishes from the menu. So what's the literal translation of à la carte? The literal translation is according to the card. So the card means the menu, and if you pick individual dishes from it, then you're choosing à la carte. What are the English cognates of à la carte? Again, carte in French has come to mean card or chart in English. Those are the words that are derived from the French word. Okay, here's number 3. Listen for the French word.
Tonight's table d'hôte menu offers 3 delicious courses for diners.
Let's have that again, and I'll show you the sentence with the French word missing.
Tonight's table d'hôte menu offers 3 delicious courses for diners.
So what was the answer? What was the French word that's missing? It is table d'hôte. That means a set meal, so there are no choices involved, unlike à la carte, where you can choose whatever you like from the menu. Table d'hôte, literal translation is table of the host. So I think that came from inns in the countryside a long time ago when all the guests at the inn would sit down with the host and they would all have the same meal together. That's why you couldn't choose, because there was only one meal on offer. You may recognize the expression table d'hôte from the song The Lonely Goat Herd and The Sound of Music. There's a line in that song which is men in the midst of a table d'hôte herd. Okay, English cognates. Well, table is obviously the English word table, but the word hôte, meaning host, has also the English cognate hotel, a place where you're hosted. Okay, number 4, listen out for the French word.
Tonight's menu dégustation is designed for adventurous food lovers only.
The picture might be a bit of a clue. Let's have that again with the sentence shown on the screen with the French expression missing.
Tonight's menu dégustation is designed for adventurous food lovers only.
So what is the missing expression? It is menu dégustation, which means a taster menu. It means you get no big dishes, but lots of little bits of things, so you can taste more than one type of thing. Literal translation is menu dégustation means the menu of tasting. And the English cognates, well, the gust part of dégustation means the stomach or anything to do with the stomach. So the gust from dégustation, the gust part means, gastric in English means anything to do with the stomach. You can have a gastric bypass, for example, or gastronomy, which means anything to do with cooking, or even the word disgusting. So the word disgusting means from the stomach, which is what will happen to your meal if it's not to your liking, perhaps. So, number 5, what's the French word or phrase in this next sentence?
The menu du jour always features ingredients selected this morning.
Let's see that sentence on the screen, minus the French word.
The menu du jour always features ingredients selected this morning.
So the missing expression is menu du jour, and that means the special. In other words, something which the chef has made just for that day. It's not regularly on the menu. So what's the literal translation of menu du jour? It means menu of the day. And are there any English words which mean something to do with day, which sound like jour? Well, journal. A journal is something which you might write in every day. Or there's the Wall Street Journal, which comes out every day. Okay, next one, number 6. What is the French word or expression in this sentence?
The prix-fixe menu includes an appetizer, main, and dessert.
Let's have that again with the sentence on the screen.
The prix-fixe menu includes an appetizer, main, and dessert.
So the missing expression is prix-fixe, which means a set menu with choices. So different from à la carte, where you can choose whatever you like from the menu, and different from table d'hôte, where there are no choices at all. You have to take the starter and the main and dessert that they give you. In a prix-fixe, which is the one that I normally head for, because it's normally the cheapest, it's a set menu with choices. So there might be 2 starters, and you choose one of them, then 2 mains, and you choose one of them, and then maybe 2 or 3 desserts, and you choose one of them. So it's a set menu with limited choices. What's a literal translation of prix-fixe? Fixed price, because it's always a fixed price for the whole menu. English cognates, well, fixed price is very similar to prix-fixe, but there's also the word prize, which comes from the French word prix, P-R-I-X. Prize, as in Grand Prix, which means the big prize. Number 7, listen for the French word.
Would you like to begin with one of our aperitifs?
And again with the sentence on the screen.
Would you like to begin with one of our aperitifs?
The missing expression is apéritifs, which means pre-dinner drinks. The literal translation of apéritif is an opener, because it's the drink is supposed to open your appetite, ready for the main course. So are there any English words which look like apéritif, which means something to do with opening? There's only really one which is at all common, and I don't think you would guess this, I certainly didn't. The word aperture in a camera means the opening of the camera, where the lens can see out into the outside world. Okay, number 8. What's the French word or expression in this sentence?
The hors d'oeuvres section includes seafood, vegetables, and small bites.
And again with the sentence on the screen.
The hors d'oeuvres section includes seafood, vegetables, and small bites.
Here comes the answer. It is hors d'oeuvre, which means appetizers or starters. I think appetizers is more common in America, starters in Britain. What's a literal translation of hors d'oeuvre? Outside of the work. So that means outside of the main work. So the main dish would be the main work, and the hors d'oeuvre are things which are outside of that, little bits and pieces on the side. Any English cognates of hors d'oeuvre? Well, I don't think there's anything for the hors bit, but oeuvre is like the English word opera, which means a work as in a work of art, or operate also, which means to work something. Okay, number 9. What's the French word or phrase in this sentence?
Your entree will be served with one side of vegetables.
And again with the sentence on the screen.
Your entree will be served with one side of vegetables.
And here's the answer. Entree. Now, in America that means the main dish, but in Britain and France it means a starter. So the meaning has evolved in America for quite interesting reasons, but if you want to know, you'll have to Google it. It's too long to explain here. Literal translation of entree is entrance, because it's the thing that you enter the meal with. English cognates, it's obvious. Entrance, the same. Number 10, listen for the French word or expression in this sentence.
The viand's options tonight include beef, pork, and seasonal game.
And again with the words on the screen.
The viand's options tonight include beef, pork, and seasonal game.
So the missing expression is viands, meat dishes. Literal translation is meat. Viande is the French word for meat. English cognates, there aren't really any. None that are at all common anyway. Number 11. What's the French word or phrase in this sentence?
Our garnitures include roasted potatoes, fresh greens, and seasonal vegetables.
Let's put the sentence on the screen and have that again.
Our garnitures include roasted potatoes, fresh greens, and seasonal vegetables.
So the missing expression is garnitures, which means side dishes or sauces or anything else which helps out the main part of the meal to make it tastier. A literal translation of garnitures means something like adornments. What's the English cognate? Fairly obvious, it's garnish, but just be careful because the meaning has changed a bit in English. So in English, a garnish is something which is just sometimes decorative. You don't even necessarily eat it. It might just be a sprig of parsley on top of the steak or whatever. Whereas in French, the garnitures are things which you are supposed to eat. They're supposed to enhance the main part of the meal. Right, number 12. Which French word or phrase do we have in this sentence?
The fromage plate features rich, creamy, and aged options.
And again with the sentence on the screen.
The fromage plate features rich, creamy, and aged options.
So the missing expression, the picture's a bit of a clue, is fromage, which means cheeses. Literal translation of fromages is cheeses. English cognates. This one I didn't know, I had to look it up. The English cognate would be the word form, because the word fromage, the first 4 letters of that, the from bit refers to the mold which was used to form the shape of the cheese. You know, cheeses are often in a round shape. Number 13, what's the French word or phrase in this sentence?
Our fresh patisseries are baked each morning by our chef.
And again with the words on the screen.
Our fresh patisseries are baked each morning by our chef.
Okay, the missing expression is patisseries, which means fine pastries. It doesn't mean things like donuts or pies or basic things like that. It refers to classier, posher types of pastries like the ones in the picture. Literal translation of patisseries is pastries, but as I say, it doesn't mean all pastries, just the fine ones. Any English cognates of patisseries? Yes, there are, quite a few. So have a look at all of those. The word paste. So anything which comes from a sort of doughy type of texture, that's what all the English cognates are. So paste, pasta, which of course is quite doughy before you've dried it and it becomes hard. Pasty, which is a kind of a pie, but less common in America, but in Britain everybody knows them. And also the word pâté, which is meat which has been ground up into a kind of spreadable form that you can spread onto toast. Okay, and we are done. So I hope you found that a fun exercise. It certainly got my mouth watering. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.